welcome to this match in the Sapphire HART series between the USC Thunder and the QUT Wildcats. My name's Karen Top and I'm here with Natalie Jarrett to commentate on this game. Welcome, Nat.
Thank you, Toppy. It's great to be here. I'm very excited to be in the USC Stadium this afternoon to watch these two teams compete.
We're looking forward to a great match between both teams here at USC Stadium. The Thunder will be looking to have a strong match against their Wildcats counterparts. We're currently seeing the Wildcats sitting third and the Thunder sitting fourth on the ladder.
Yeah, less than one game between, I think, the top five at the moment, so it's certainly tight on that ladder.
The Wildcats are starting today with centre pass, so they'll be looking to find their rhythm quite quickly. Ash Uni, who's also a training partner with the Lightning and was on their bench yesterday, affecting that turnover early in the game.
Great rebound there.
Again, so many amazing players on the court today. Nora Missa for the Wildcats sitting at goalkeeper. She's just come back from the World Cup, having had a fantastic tournament there for Samoa. She had leading intercepts while she was at the World Cup, so it'll be interesting, similar to yesterday where we saw the Firebirds Sunshine Coast Lightning game, those players that were transitioning from World Cup back into their domestic competitions.
Another turnover there by the captain to put the ball back in the hands of the Thunder and working the ball into the circle, and just a nice deflection there. Bird not able to pull that one in at that stage. Sitting at 194 centimetres tall. Certainly got some height at both ends of the court with the goal shooters.
So as we quickly run through the USC Thunder team, Ellie Bird is at goal shooter, Jessie Wardlaw at goal attack, Josephine Hungerford at wing attack, Chloe Litherland at centre, Ashley Uni at wing defence, Lily Mae Catling at goal defence, Sienna Allen at goalkeeper, Nicole Gunther, Serafina Wolf and Abby Mishke are the substitutions today, and they're coached by Gary Passion.
Quite an easy goal down there for the Thunder, back in the hands of the Wildcats now, and no one home alone there for the goal shooter. Alicia Tahara putting the goal through the hoop there to take the scores to 2 to the Thunder, 1 to the Wildcats.
We'll quickly run through the Wildcats team now.
In goal shooter, we have Alicia Tahara. In goal attack, we have Riley Bachelador. In wing attack, we have Lisha Maimai. In centre, we have Halita Vava. In wing defence, Rachel Fa'anana. In goal defence, Danielle Taylor, and goalkeeper Lenora Misa. And our interchange players are Keisha Grant, Stephanie Barstow, and Eldora Tuala.
And they're coached by Paula Stewart. Both teams just settling into their rhythm as they start this game, utilising those quick passes where they can. Nice passage of play from the Thunder to score that goal. Wildcats just finding it a little harder to find space at the moment in their attacking end.
The defensive unit of the Thunder working a nice one-on-one and the switch on when it's necessary. Hands over there and ball through the hoop there for Riley Bachelador. Riley Bachelador, a member of
the under 17
state team this year and had a lovely tournament. Captain, wasn't she?
She was captain of the under 17 state team. And also was one of the Queensland players that was selected for the Australian camp. Had a great time in Canberra, despite it being quite cold down there.
Certainly protecting the possession of the ball, the Wildcats, in this game. Maybe a lesson learnt from their game against the Jets last time to convert those centre passes that are so very important. Oh, nice ball straight down there into Bird. Working the ball through.
Strong shooting there from Jessie Wardlaw in goal attack. Thunder just pushing the score out 6-4 at the moment.
Thunder definitely consistent with that nice one-on-one game at present, making it tricky to get that clean and clear ball into the circle. And the ball there through for Tahara again, sitting just 0.5 centimetres taller than Ellie Bird at 194.5 centimetres. And in comparison, if you're watching at home, Caitlin Bassett is 194 centimetres tall too.
Great work in defence from Riley Bachelor-Dor. Able to just get a hand onto that ball for the Wildcats to turn over possession. They'll be looking to set this up effectively. Strong hold from Alicia Tahara at goal shooter, and Riley popping that ball into a really good space for Alicia. Drawing the scores level at 6-all.
Nice hands on the tip there by Asuyuna, captain of the Thunder. Oh, a lovely shot through the hoop there for Bachelor-Dor.
Helida Bouvet, also really smart move there. Helida is a former Firebird. She was a training partner when she came up back after her first pregnancy, and has since had another baby, so she's having a lovely time here playing with the Wildcats. A busy mum.
That's great. It's great to see that they can play at this level again, because it is a great competition.
Strong drives through the midcourt there for the Wildcats, just taking a little time as they get into the attack end. The Thunder defenders are certainly doing a lot of work to try and shut down Tahara, and Wildcats just able to open that space up to the post.
Holding her space nicely, isn't she? And the Thunder certainly working hard to work around the body.
It's that challenge as tall shooters. While it's fantastic to have a great strong hold, to also be mobile enough. It's fantastic read of the play from USC Thunder. Just not quite able to take that breath, as most coaches feel when you've got the turnover. You want your players just to take a moment to resettle as they move into attack to be able to affect the goal at the end of it.
Yeah.
So Wildcats doing a really good job of regaining possession quite quickly.
And you want to be able to look after that ball when the defender, Catlin's done a great intercept there to reward them down the other end. So something certainly to work on.
Strong defensive effort from the Wildcats to force that held ball.
Nice centering move there by Baimai, unfortunately not meeting its target.
So at both ends, the defenders are reading the play particularly well and looking for those intercepts.
A bit looser down this end at that stage for the Wildcats defenders, so the ball sort of entered without too much trouble there for Thunder. Alan doing a really great job there in goalkeeper for Thunder. Good footwork. Trying to confuse where the space is.
Strong rebounding from Tahara.
Very good hands.
Our umpires for today's game, Jessica Lakeman and Amber Lawrence, and our reserve umpire, Brooke Quilter. Brooke umpired in the Ruby Series game prior to this one and did a fantastic job as well.
Thunder doing a good job keeping those centre courts off the circle edge there, making it harder to get it in.
Great vision from Lisa Maimai to put that ball into a great space away from the defenders to Alicia Tahara. She's got a fantastic front hold on there at the top of the circle. Allen appears to be allowing her to have that space at the moment, making them then work to find a post and able to affect another turnover, which the USC Thunder have quickly transitioned down court to score a goal.
USC Thunder sitting at 8 goals at present to Wildcats 11.
Great hands there from Rachel Whanana. Rachel's from Cairns originally. She's has been in the Queensland under-19s team the year prior and was a training partner again this year. She's now moved to Brisbane for university and has been having a great season with the Wildcats.
Just goes to show that Queensland are producing great netballers all over its vast state. Yeah,
our regional associations are doing fantastic work with continuing to develop players.
Offensive foul there drawn. Great passage of play there. Good quick release on the ball into Batchelor-Door to finish off.
Riley has such a strong drive across the baseline. She also sweeps the top of the circle particularly well. Riley's quite tall herself, however, really mobile with that height.
Makes herself available a lot. Yeah.
Strong mid-range shot from Alicia. She tends not to take as many at that distance, looking for the ball under the post as often as she can, as most tall shooters like to do.
Just off that centre pass, the Wildcats doing a good job to hold the mid-court off and force it back. Eventually finds its way into goal attack, who is misfortunate on that.
It's a great rebound from Lenora Missa.
Very good.
A very quick transition from the Wildcats for them to score. They're just pushing the scoreline out here at the moment, 15 to the Thunder on 9.
And each team does receive a tactical timeout of 90 seconds per half, and it's quite interesting to see where these teams do use this. You think they might call one soon, Thunder, perhaps, Toppy?
It will be interesting to see, because as this scoreline starts to push out, how the coaches utilise their tactical timeouts is always interesting to see. Lenora Missa had great front position there.
I was just going to say.
One of those times where just not quite able to get her hands on the ball.
Trying to force it up there.
It's always challenging when you're working with your defenders and they're up against the tall shooters for them to continue to have belief that they may only get one or two intercepts in a game, but those can be the ones that change what's happening, and to keep working hard
and commit to that when it becomes available.
Absolutely. Can hear teammates encouraging Riley Batchelor-Door as she took that shot. Her nickname is Roo.
Again, Wildcats putting on that, what I would call a wall there on that centre pass, causing some confusion to finding a space to come through. But Thunder has managed to find their way through and finish off with a shot.
Great defensive effort there from USC Thunder to force that turnover on the centre pass. They'll be looking to utilise this ball as we come towards the last 2 minutes of the quarter to build some momentum if they can. Fantastic pass in.
Very good vision. And very patient, waiting for it to open there rather than forcing it through.
Yeah. Chloe Litherland at centre just working to control that ball, get the USC Thunder set up in their attacking end. Fantastic drive onto the circle edge by Josie Hungerford. Jessie Wardlaw is usually quite comfortable at longer range. Good tracking of the ball from Dan Taylor, not quite able to get it to her Wildcats teammates.
The Thunder need to make a decision here with who is going forward to the ball as well. And perhaps that's the good work of the Wildcats defence, covering that front position. And the defence again blocking them out from that rebound and gathering that ball. And quick transition, and they're down the other end again.
Both Danielle Taylor and Lauren Missa have come through Queensland underage state teams as well. Lenora's had some injury concerns along the way with 2 knee reconstructions and has done a fantastic job to rehabilitate and get back on the court.
Strength and conditioning, such an important component of their training now.
Last 30 seconds here as we go into quarter time.
Lovely high ball there by Riley.
She has such height on that shot. Wildcats will be looking to try and hold Thunder up.
Great long ball there. Into Wall.
That last... Not quite getting organised when they're under the pressure. They're coming into the quarter time break for the Wildcats. However, they finish the quarter. Wildcats leading 19 to the USC Thunder 13. Fantastic start to this first quarter. What were the key things for you, Nat?
I thought both teams remained quite composed and didn't rush the ball through. And I think that's probably a lesson perhaps from when Wildcats met in their last game with Jets that they may have wanted to improve on. So whilst the score is 13-19, it seemed closer.
Definitely. So quite a few turnovers. Both teams will be looking to be able to convert a little more quickly when they come back after the break. We'll take a break now before we move into the second quarter here at the HART Sapphire Series match between the USC Thunder and the Wildcats. Welcome back to the University of Sunshine Coast Stadium, where we're at the HART Sapphire Series Round 6 match between the USC Thunder and the QUT Wildcats. We go into this second quarter with the Wildcats leading 19-13.
A couple of changes on court. It looks like Vava's gone back into wing defence. And
just trying to pick up who's gone into wing attack at the moment.
Certainly stepped up their defensive pressure, the Wildcats.
Sorry, more the changes at centre. So we'll just work to figure out who that player is that's come into centre. Great goal from the USC Thunder to start off this second quarter.
Great work there by the goalkeeper, Sienna Allen, who was sitting on the bench for the Lightning yesterday, Toppy.
Great work from Dan Taylor. That is a specialty of Dan's, where she can come in as the goal defence in front of her opponent and to affect that turnover ball. I've had the pleasure of coaching Dan previously, and it was certainly one of the things that she was able to do quite regularly, and it's fantastic to see she's able to maintain that here at this higher level. Smart pass from Riley Batchelor-Door.
Nice little touch on that.
Just looked away for long enough to convince the defenders to pull off her goal shooting partner, Alicia Tahara, and to pop that ball high into the space.
Also got change there for the Thunder in the centre position as well. So both teams looking for obviously possibly a little bit more drive, something different through the middle there.
Strong pass that's going into Ellie Bird. Both teams going goal for goal at the moment. We've got the Wildcats on 20 and USC Thunder on 15. Wildcats just looking to organise their attack, and the Thunder in that defensive pressure able to force the turnover. All of the players were getting stuck on the outside of their opponents and just not quite able to see a way to release the pass. Ellie Bird's been doing a lot of work coming out of the circle to release that pressure. Unfortunately, just on that occasion, had a foot out of court. And didn't touch the court before she caught that ball, which forces a changeover in possession. Those long legs had got her a long way into the court, which made it a little deceptive.
But keep it in there.
It was a great call from the umpire to pick that one up.
And there is a lot on for the umpires to look at. We all like to be our armchair umpires sometimes, but it's certainly, the game has certainly got a lot faster.
Absolutely.
Oh. Nice slip there by Ellie Bird. Finish off with the goal. Certainly still going goal for goal here. It's Wildcats centre pass.
And similar to the players, the umpires also have their pathways. Jess Lakeman was one of the umpires that was selected to attend the Under-17s and 19s Nationals this year, which was held in Brisbane, and did a fantastic job.
Interesting little pass off there from Alicia before she shot the ball. Wildcats look like they're trying to open up the court a bit more, and they're starting, their positions are certainly looking down court a lot more.
USC Thunder looking to use their speed as they're coming down court. At this stage, the Wildcats are doing a pretty good job of matching them in those movements. So challenge for the USC Thunder players is to add some more variety into their movement patterns to get free a little easier so that the passes are able to flow more effectively.
So Ali Bird there shooting the goal through the hoop, has just re-signed with the Tactics. I think it's in about her 4th year, and joined the Thunder in round 2 over from New Zealand. So a nice addition there for the Thunder side. And Wildcats answering there with another goal.
Alicia Tahara working particularly hard to maintain front position, or to keep Sienna Allen, the Thunder keeper, on her back as much as she can. Wildcats centre doing a fantastic job of putting pressure on, just not able to finalise it with body control at the end, and the umpire calling that a contact.
Great front position there by Catlin to force that intercept, and a great transition down court by Thunder. Very strong passing and precise, and Bird making herself available and pulling in a strong ball to finish off with the goal.
Just a little too much on that particular pass into Ellie Bird. It's that challenge when you have a tall shooter around. Where do you put the ball for it to be an effective pass for them to pull in? They have such long arms and limbs. While they have an advantage, it's still important to put the ball into a good space for them.
Great work there by Sienna Allen to make Alicia work for that ball.
Alicia's been able to grab in her own rebound a few times in this match today. Part of that is, as shooters, usually they have a pretty good idea of whether the balls come off their hand well or not as they're making the shot. They have that advantage over the defenders of being able to then time their move forward.
And that follow through.
As defenders, obviously, we want them to have a good front position to try and stop that happening. The shooters definitely have an advantage in that position.
Lovely quick shooter to shoot a ball there from Wardlaw to Bird.
Strong drive into the circle from Riley Batchelor-Dore there. Connecting well with Lisa Maimai. The Thunder will be looking to utilise this turnover. Being able to convert the turnover into goal would help them on the scoreboard at this point. Also help them get a little bit of momentum. Umpire just picking up that there was a contact on the outside of the circle.
Great work from Wildcats. Oh, bring the ball through the court there. Nice positioning by Maimai.
Riley Batchelor-Dore just making her way out of the circle to release the pressure. And that's one of those times where the placement of the ball not quite where you'd like it to be, but there was actually two defenders on, so perhaps looking at another option around the circle edge would have been a good idea in that situation. The Wildcats defenders working particularly hard, switching between what looked like a split circle into man on man, trying to pick off that ball, which the Thunder were able to negotiate on that occasion. Josie Hungerford, another that's come through the underage program here in Queensland, returning after some injuries. Look, Nora Misser on that stage, the Wildcats goalkeeper, doing a fantastic job to stay in front.
Gained possession well and was rewarded. See if Wildcats can convert to reward her for her great work. And nice front position there by
It was such a great fake from the Wildcats centre then to be able to pull the defender off just far enough to then fire that pass into Alicia Tahara.
It's a great school for any of the kids that might be watching to start to use.
And good variety then in the feeds into the circle from the centre, putting in a nice flat pass the ball before, that one going in a little lower. She's put in some really nice high balls. Keeping the Thunder defence in two minds about what might be happening in there and where to set up their defensive patterns.
The Wildcats' defence off the body a little bit, making the Thunder have to really think and move to find good position. Again, Lenora keeping great front position, just on that occasion not getting the same timing on it, but still contesting the ball quite well. It's great to see the defender, as you said before, not quite as tall as their opponent, but having a go. All using it all the 3 seconds. No, she has been pinned there. Maimai at that point. So good defensive pressure there by the Thunder. And Wildcats responding with a good one-on-one. Great hands by Dan Taylor. Persistence from the Wildcats created that turnover opportunity. Lenora having a go at the ball on the circle's edge. Dan doing a great work of trying to cover both shooters at the same time, getting one hand to the ball, working that second, third, fourth effort. Absolutely. And just getting another look at the replay there.
continuing to work really hard until someone picked that ball up. Great swing of the ball around the circle there. Ellie Bird setting up, and she had back position while the ball was on the outside edge.
Utilising well to find that.
Utilising the swing across the circle to then find her in what became front position.
So it's that great swing around the circle to find that clear position for that feed, Riley, there.
Yeah, Riley really took advantage of Alicia just backing out of the space and being able to sweep the front of the circle and drive hard towards the post.
Great take of the ball there by Josie Hungerford.
It was a good challenge from Dan, the umpire just deeming there was a little contact as she came through.
She's getting a lot of tips on the ball. So
she is. The umpires have to make that decision in a split second, whether it's contact or contest. Usually they will deem it to be contest if both bodies are fairly straight as they go through and there's no interference with the other player's body.
Great drive by Maya there across the transverse on the centre pass. It seems she's been given the line in this quarter and it's working quite well for the Wildcats. And finish it off with a goal there by Batchelor.
Strong shot from Riley Batchelor. She will usually shoot from distance. Looks like we do have a tactical timeout to the Thunder at this point in time. This quarter is 11-all at this point. There is 2 minutes 14 left to go. What do you think the coaches might be saying to their team? What do you think the Thunderbirds might be working on at this stage, Nat?
The Thunder, what might they be working on at this stage? I think maybe continuing to do what they've come out and presented out on court and work on the strengths that have worked for them and converting those turnovers.
Yeah. So in a lot of respects, they've been wanting to work on having front position more often, of being able to drive hard onto the circle edge, and that's been working for them. Perhaps just being a little more patient with the ball around the circle.
Around the circle edge.
Because the Wildcats' defence are certainly confusing the space a lot. They're working particularly well in tandem as a unit to be able to confuse where that ball's coming into the Thunder.
And like we just saw when they were stuck with the back position to find a new, swing the ball and reopen that space again so the shooters have the time to make something.
In some respects, the Wildcats' defences are probably looking for them to swing the ball because both Dan Taylor and Lenora Misser love to come out and challenge that ball, and they do it particularly well. They've got the speed to do it, so they do want to force their opponents to move the ball in that respect.
2 minutes to go.
So it's always of interest when we're looking at SSN games about how teams come out of their tactical timeouts, and I'm also interested at this level in our HART Sapphire series. It does look like the Wildcats have made changes. So Halita has gone back into centre. Their wing attack, which looks to be Lily, is it Gray? No? Maybe Keisha Grant?
Keisha Grant.
We're just struggling to pick up a name on the back of her uniform, so our apologies.
Great cover there by the Wildcats defenders. Again, demanding front position and forcing them to look for a different option. Bird having a few problems straight under the post today. Needs another weedy underneath it. One minute to go. We've got Thunder up by 1 in this quarter.
Great challenge from Sienna Allen in the back position there, able to maintain that straight body position, go up straight with her hands, so the umpire deeming it to be a contest on that occasion. The Thunderbirds will be looking to utilise this. They are ahead at the moment for the bonus points in this quarter. So now that the Wildcats have regained possession, they'll be wanting to
Oh, well done there by Riley.
sink that goal, which Riley did it particularly well.
13 all. It's very important. They want this 2-point bonus point. Each quarter has a 2-point bonus point and 1 point for a draw. 15 seconds to go, and Bird with the ball wants to get a little bit closer. Ooh, no. Just missed the shooter ball there.
Smart move by Jessie Wardlaw there. Unfortunately, Bird just not able to put that ball in. So that quarter becomes a 13-all draw.
So 1 point each for the bonus points on that quarter for each team.
Both teams having some opportunities there in the dying seconds. It's one of those things as coaches that we need to work on with our players in training about what to do in the final seconds of a match. So here at the HART Sapphire series, we're going into half-time with the USC Thunder on 26 and the QUT Wildcats leading on 32. It's been a strong match so far. We've got some of our net set guys coming out on court for the half-time entertainment. We'll look forward to seeing you when we come back after the half-time break. Welcome back to this round 6 match at the USC Stadium between the USC Thunder and the QUT Wildcats. We go into the third quarter with the Wildcats leading 32 to Thunder 26. It's been an entertaining match so far. Both teams wanting to capitalise on the turnovers that they've been creating as we go into the third quarter. We'd like to take this opportunity to also thank our sponsors, HART Sport, naming rights partner, also Legassic Jewelers, Powerade, Mount Franklin,
Mizuno, the official footwear partner of the HART Sapphire series.
Victor Sports, who are also our official sports medical suppliers. Great ball in from Lisa Maimai to Alicia Tahara for the Wildcats to score that goal. It's pushing out to 34-26 at the moment, scoring first 2 goals of this quarter.
It's going to be an important quarter, the third quarter, as it always is for both teams. And 3 on the board already for the Wildcats, so they've certainly started with a bang.
There's a well-weighted pass from Riley Bachelador into Alicia, despite the fact she had 2 players defending at the time.
Great intercept there.
Yeah, Lenora Mesa, just her vision is exceptional, and she was able to time that drive to affect the turnover. And Wildcats are able to score quite quickly from that ball. They've come out of the quarter particularly well, leading for Zip at this stage in the quarter. That long ball just dribbling in for Alicia Tahara. Thunderbirds now need to just take a breath to settle, be able to get into their own rhythm as they bring the ball down court.
This might be the settler that they're looking for.
Jessie Wardlaw, who's the Thunder goal attack, is one of those athletes that's dual code. She also plays women's AFL, and she's still combining both her AFL and her netball commitments.
A rush ball there into the Wildcats circle has enabled the Thunder to quickly respond and bring the ball down the court. And a great feed in there to Bird, well placed.
Jessie Wardlaw just taking a nice drive along the baseline, starting to clear some space so that Ellie Bird had the back space to utilise on that opportunity. The umpire suggesting there was some sort of push happening there at the centre pass and awarding the penalty to the Wildcats.
Certainly making sure of every pass now, the Wildcats, and protecting that ball in hand and converting.
I thought they took advantage that time of seeing the goal defence with their eyes down to put that ball in, probably at head height. The idea was fantastic. Just didn't quite come off on that occasion. They'll be looking to put strong defensive pressure on now to force a turnover again.
Floating here off the body a little bit, taking up the space, the Wildcats. In this situation, when they're putting on a bit of a zone, we recommend 2 leads towards the ball.
As coaches, we're always looking for those 2 leads towards the ball. Thunder just being a little more patient that time around with finding their way to the circle edge. Just not quite getting that ball when they're underneath the post. And the Wildcats doing a fantastic job of just scrapping for any opportunity that they can.
Maimai wanting the quick release.
It was a smart reset to Rachel Funana on the transverse line when her leader Vave's drive towards the sideline was covered by the Thunder. The umpire with her eagle eyes picking off that her leader had just tiptoed into the circle. Quick passage of play from the Thunder, just getting held up as they get towards the circle edge. Josie Hungerford
Nice reset there.
also resetting, trying to set up some space.
She's been rewarded with the ball there from the umpire.
Goal attack, not quite understanding the umpire's call, but unfortunately...
Perhaps asking for a bit of clarification, not wanted.
Questioning more than was necessary, and the umpire suggesting that wasn't appropriate at the time. The umpires do have a role to play in that game management, but also as players and coaches we need to emphasise that behaviour as well.
Tactical timeout called here by the Thunder, I do believe.
So as they go into this tactical timeout, wanting to stop some of the momentum from the Wildcats, I would imagine, given that the Wildcats are leading in this quarter 7-2. Wanting to reset perhaps some of the strategies. Looks like the Wildcats came out of that break really switched on and wanting to push home hard at this point.
And that's what Gary will be addressing with his team, to remain calm but lift the intensity perhaps. Wildcats did, as you say, came out very well.
Also a good opportunity just to talk to the shooters, perhaps reset who's on the lead, who's on the hold, take a breath when that pressure's on at the moment. And the Wildcats are putting fantastic pressure on, so that is causing the Thunder shooters to be a little tentative in what they're doing by the look of it. How can they reset that and get themselves going? In reality, 5 goals down in a quarter is not that many. The total scoreline's pushed out to the QUT Wildcats 39, Thunder 28. But again, there's a lot of time remaining.
And again, is this what you can work on in training, is to come out of the gates firing from a timeout, from a half-time break?
I think it's always something that we're looking for as coaches. Yes. But at the same time, you're also looking for that consistency throughout. Does look like Thunder have made a change with Serafina Wolf coming into goal attack.
Very versatile, Serafina.
She is. That ball just not lifted high enough across the circle, and Lenora Missa, again in that fantastic front position, able to pick the ball off.
Oh, great hands there, tipped by Caitlin there. Caitlin, my apologies.
Does look like the Wildcats have also made a change at goal attack. That ball not quite placed for Alicia Tahara to pull in.
Interesting to make the change by the Wildcats when everything seemed to be working from this seat.
Stephanie Bairstow coming into goal attack. Stephanie also plays basketball. Has been enjoying the season with the Wildcats here with netball as well. That was a better pass in. It had a little bit more height on it, more into space. Unfortunately, just not able to finalise the goal. Despite Dan Taylor doing a great job of tracking that ball to the sideline, it ended up back in Thunder hands. Ellie Bird just wanting to take a breath there.
There we go.
And putting that ball through.
It's quite important, isn't it, when the shots aren't going in, to be able to reset for the shooter and have something that is your go-to?
Yeah, for shooters, it's really important for them to have a routine. What do they do on each shot? How do they take a breath after they've had a strong contest? Or if they've taken a really strong, hard drive, that they're able to just slow their heart rate again and be able to execute the technique of their shot, whatever that might be. Serafina doing a great job of lots of short, sharp drives outside the circle and just working to
keep it safe.
Find some space for Ellie Bird to be able to deliver that strong ball. Fina does swing between the attack and the defence end. She played the under-19 Queensland team at Nationals, mainly at defence this year. but have seen her work effectively at goal attack as well.
It's a skill to switch from the defensive mode up into an attacking end, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And here she comes through the middle there. Just a bit of
Quick hands there from Stephanie Bairstow, but just being deemed that she contacted on the way through.
good vision in. And strong take by Ali Bird.
It was a strong take. Dan Taylor was certainly contesting that ball hard at that point in time, so Ali did a great job of pulling that ball in.
Good front position there by Alicia.
Sienna Allen still just getting caught probably on the back of the body. Perhaps working her feet a little to get around the body would be helpful. She seems content to give Alicia that ball at the top of the circle, but there might be some opportunities.
Great communication between the Thunder defenders there to switch players when needed.
A little bit of confusion about who ended up with that pass.
I'm confused.
There were certainly lots of people contesting it. The Wildcats have now managed to just settle and score that goal. So at the moment in this third quarter, the Wildcats are leading 10 to the Thunder 5.
Great sweep there by Bird, but the ball was placed in the back spot to Wolf.
It was really good vision from Josie to pick up that Ellie Bird was probably covered at the front and that Serafina was having a strong drive into the post and to place it into good space.
And the attacker's not too aware of that sometimes, so it's good vision by the centre court.
Wildcats are scoring quickly at the moment, so
Aren't they?
Thunder want to probably be looking at putting a little bit more pressure on defence in that attack end, particularly when you've got that tall shooter at the back. You know, it's tough on the keeper when it's a one-on-one. You want your players outside the circle to be putting more pressure on. Strong shot at range from Serafina.
Great circle edge bounce pass there by Hungerford to get that ball into Serafina and finished off there beautifully.
It's a challenge when you put that bounce pass on the ground out in the middle of play. The balls move slowly, so the Thunder had got a hand on it, but Wildcats able to recover and score quickly. Not quite in the right position, that pass coming in, and Lenora Missa able to affect the...
Is it the delivery of the ball, or is it the defensive pressure? The Wildcats are really confusing the space.
I'd suggest a combination of both at this point.
Very well done there by Sienna Allen.
Nice clearing pass.
Great transition out there from the great work by Sienna. Unfortunately able to reward her with the goal at the end. Again, the Wildcats turning the ball over.
Strong pass in. With Alicia Tahara finishing off yet another goal.
They really are placing it in the right position for her. My.
And part of that is the space that's being created in and around. That one not quite coming off. Stephanie Balstow had that position and then started to back out of it after she'd made eye contact with Lisa Momo. We see a quick substitution happening with the Thunder in the centre position.
We've got Nicole Gunther coming on in the centre position.
She had good eyes to the ball there, just not quite getting to the line of the ball. Nice sweep of the top of the circle from Stephanie Bairstow. Not quite lifting the ball to get it in. And that's what we were talking about before, you know, as a shooter. You've made that strong, hard drive. Just taking that moment to then settle for the shot to be more effective.
Nicole's come in and added a little bit of spark there for the Thunder. Let's see if they can continue with that.
Some good speed, perhaps just needs a little bit more control. with where she's going on those drives. That was much better defensive pressure from the Thunder there on the Wildcats, forcing that ball over the baseline.
Caitlin and Alan working very well together to switch when...
Strong move by Helita. Great outside arm, just not quite able to get it to a teammate on that occasion.
A great defensive centre, Helita Vava is. Switches very often into wing defence, doesn't she?
Helita started her career as a goal defence goalkeeper. And certainly when I coached her for a little bit in under 14s, she was still in those positions. And she's through time transitioned into wing defence and centre and done a fantastic job of it. The Thunder are doing a great job here with 1:15 left to go. At the moment, they've pulled the scoreline back to 11-13 in this third quarter. If they can put some pressure on and get a turnover here, they can either force the draw or potentially...
Here we go. You asked for it, Toppy. Unfortunately, the placement again, these small errors, and they're unforced errors. There wasn't a lot of pressure on that. So letting them down.
Again, it's that transition from defence into attack. Great work again there by Catling, the goal defence.
Oh, well done there, Sienna Allen. Nice outside arm.
So now, as a coach, you want them to just take their time, get this ball down the court, score a goal.
Placement.
"20 seconds is a long time in netball. Wanting to be able to work it in. Good, smart move there to be able to utilise. Josie Hungerford on the outside edge. Unfortunately, just not able to get the ball to drop. That long ball from half court not quite finding the target. So we go to the three-quarter break with the Wildcats, QUT Wildcats leading 45 to the USC Thunder 37. The Thunder did a fantastic job of really working hard in the second half of that quarter, particularly after that timeout, to bring that scoreline back and to be close.
And it is only 8 goals, and that is not a lot when we're looking at a 15 minutes of play. 4 turnovers.
4 effective turnovers.
Effective, yes.
And we get them back into the match.
And Thunder are getting a lot of ball. They're getting a lot of turnovers, and they just need to finish it off.
Absolutely. So as we go to the three-quarter break here between the USC Thunder and the QUT Wildcats, we have Thunder on 37 and the Wildcats on 45. We look forward to you joining us again after the break for the fourth quarter in this HART Sapphire Series Round 6 match. welcome back to the fourth quarter of the HART Sapphire Series round 6 match between the QUT Wildcats and the USC Thunder. We're here at USC Stadium on the beautiful sunny coast watching the Wildcats currently leading 45, USC Thunder 37. Thunder did a great job of coming back towards the end of that last quarter.
A few changes. Serafina Wolf's gone back into goal defence. Well, not back in, she is in goal defence.
Yes, we saw her in the last quarter at goal attack, so they've made the switch, putting her into the defensive circle. Riley Bachelador also re-entering the game for the Wildcats at goal attack. We're seeing Jessie Wardlaw's come back on at goal attack. She's had a little break. Had some time to watch what's been going on in court. Riley Bachelador just losing a handle on the ball at that point in time. Fantastic ball from Ash Uni, catching Jessie Wardlaw on the drive and into Ellie Bird.
A few changes perhaps having effect already for the Thunder.
They are. And starting this quarter off 1-1, so we know that the Wildcats started the third quarter with a bang. The coach Paula Stewart won't be particularly happy around the fact that the Thunder were able to claw their way back for that quarter to be 13-11. Thunder just actually being patient, which was what we were suggesting might be helpful before the break. Resetting until they found that effective ball into Ellie Bird. And sticking the nose in front in this quarter, leading 2-1.
A little late there on the centre, but contesting everything. Nice front there.
Interesting that the change was made at goal defence because Lily Catling had been doing a fantastic job and working really well with Sienna Allen for the USC Thunder in their defensive end. Got her hands to lots of ball.
Yes.
Thunder perhaps just looking for a little bit more strength in that position. Serafina has such an imposing presence. She's very busy already defensively.
Great shot there by Riley Bachelador, and maybe the reason for that is to put some pressure over that shot and make them maybe not get it through the hoop. Alicia and Riley are both in the top 5 at the moment for this Sapphire Series in the shooting stats. So their certainly accuracy is very good.
Great fake from Lisa Maimai towards the baseline, which is where Riley Bachelador was driving. Pulled the defenders off Alicia Tahara and provided an easier pass in. Wildcats seem to have just settled themselves again. They're pushing out to 4-2 in this quarter. Rachel Fundernan just not quite able to pick that ball off. It's always frustrating as a player when, you know, the ball's there, it's at your feet, and you just can't quite get your hands on it to pick it up.
Not wanting to go to post there, but now she's Ellie Bird having the shot.
The umpire just suggesting that the keeper needs to adjust the distance. Wildcats just missing their connections there at the moment from between the midcourt into the attacking end. Able to get past it eventually, but they had that big gap across court between Halida standing at halfway and into their attacking end.
Thunder have certainly stepped up their defensive pressure.
Great move from Ellie Bird, driving towards the baseline to take that pass from Josie Hungerford.
Four 5 so far in this quarter. One up for the Wildcats, and great vision into the circle there to get the ball into Alicia. Unfortunately not able to finish, but rebounding beautifully today.
Yeah, just saw Riley Bachelador's hand up in the corner that she'd picked up, that Alicia was home alone, and helping her teammates out with getting that long ball into the circle edge. Josie Hungerford really hustling in defence, putting pressure on. Rachel probably on that occasion just needed to take 1 or 2 more steps. Was kind of in position before the ball was released rather than when the ball gets there.
And it's what Thunder's going to need to do is to turn over the ball and
good
really
pressure.
get the reward.
Yeah.
And this could be a start, perhaps.
Ellie Bird driving up the middle to release that pressure. Great defence from Rachel around the circle edge to get a hand on that ball. Well scored goal from the USC Thunder. Staying in touch with the Wildcats in the first 5 minutes of this final quarter.
Nice second phase drive there by Vava. Good pressure.
And again, that swing from Riley Batchelor. And as she swung the ball, then sweeping around the top, driving towards the ball, releasing the pressure and allowing the ball into the backspace. Thunder equally moving the ball down court quickly. Unfortunately, that was an air ball on that occasion. The Wildcats doing a pretty good job of driving in front in attack. Fantastic pass.
And creating that space and then using that space to gain the ball further down the court.
Absolutely. So we have QUT Wildcats 53 to USC Thunder 42. We've got a tactical timeout called again. It looks like it may have been from the Wildcats on this occasion.
Which is interesting because they seem to have quite good momentum, but time to chat.
It looks like it. So for the Wildcats, what would be one or two things you'd be working on going into this next quarter now?
For the Wildcats going into this next quarter is just
after the tactical timeout, I should say.
Yes, that's right. Is obviously just keeping composed and keeping their lead. So obviously getting their centre passes and scoring on the turnovers when they can.
Mm-hmm.
Continue to find that great front drive. They're really starting their prelims early and finding that good space.
Mm-hmm.
And their transitions have been quick today. So the coach, I imagine, would be saying more, please.
Absolutely. Looks like in the USC Thunder there may be some bibs changing yet again. We'll try and pick those up as they come. Looks like Serafina Wolf may be going into goalkeeper. And Lily Catlin going back into goal defence. Sienna Allen has had a strong game today. Thunder just looking at tweaking what's happening in their defensive unit to see if they can turn some further ball over.
I think the defence for Thunder have been working quite solid today.
Absolutely. Ashuni doing
nice
some
hands.
Great.
Well done.
And
Serafina Wolf there creating the turnover. Nice tip.
just that strong pressure on the body. She didn't actually go for the ball, but sometimes just putting enough pressure on that the opponent fumbles.
And it all started with the hands over the ball from Litherland, so it's building the pressure, isn't it, really, in a team and working together.
Absolutely. And on that occasion, you know, just potentially needing to be a little more patient rather than putting the ball into the shooter who was 2-on-1.
Lovely vision there by Serafina.
That is one of Serafina's strengths. And again, just probably rushing that final pass into the shooting circle.
And in this scenario, it takes one or two players just to say, hey, let's just settle, let's just balance, and let's make sure of each and every ball when we're in possession.
And to me, the defences at both ends of the court today have done a fantastic job of really working hard to get front position, to give themselves opportunities against those tall shooters. You know, quite often you hear defences say, oh, they're too tall.
Yes.
You know, I can't get the ball off them. And it's like, actually with persistence and positioning and forcing the opponents to make some mistakes or to rush their passes in, can create those turnovers when you're working really hard to get that front position. So it is about persistence for our defenders and backing yourself.
Nice taking the body there by the body through by Litherland. but unable to grab possession of that. So it's a throw in for the Wildcats. She's certainly lifted her game in this last quarter. The centre player for Thunder.
Strong front cut there from Josie Hungerford.
Am I allowed to say that was a 1, 2, 3 quick one by the umpire?
It did appear to be a quick 3 seconds on that occasion. To date, the umpires have been doing a really great job of picking up what's been going on out there on court.
Hands on the ball again there by Catlin. But again, too strong in the air by Alicia Tahara.
As with the players, the umpires are making so many decisions in split seconds.
Yes.
With so many different things going on in front of them. Their decision making has to be spot on. And they do a lot of training in that respect as well, and I encourage all umpires to spend some time at training with teams to continue to develop their perceptual skills, to be able to pick that information up.
Yeah, working under pressure just like players takes composure.
Absolutely.
Working a bit of a zone there, I think, the Wildcats.
Strong movements from the USC Thunder there. Really nice work with the ball.
Nice to see Catlin rewarded there with intercept. Tiny bit late there by Vava.
She saw it. She
did.
didn't quite get there in time.
On body.
Keisha Grant in wing defence at the moment, replacing Whanana. Wildcats were looking to move that ball quickly down the court. Just Thunder doing a great job of holding them up in defence. Serafina Wolf coming out to have a go at that. Just not quite timing it on that occasion, which left the shooter open. However, you want your defences to have a go at those.
And especially when you need possession, you need turnover when you're down.
Great ball from Ash Uni. Picking up Jessie Wardlaw on the drive to the post. So we're just under 5 minutes to go in this match. In this fourth quarter, the Wildcats are leading 12-9. They're up by 11. Serafina Wolf.
Great tip there.
A great example of going up with your outside arm, getting a hand to ball.
And she came from behind the body, so great footwork too. Absolutely.
So the next step with our defenders is encouraging them then to hopefully either pull it in or to tap it down in front of them with the view to getting it back.
Such speed by Hungerford finding that spot there on the circle edge.
Dan Taylor throwing herself at that ball. Not quite getting there in time. Dan always gives 100% when she's on the court. Again, the Thunder are coming back at the Wildcats in this quarter. Pulling it back 12-10 at the moment.
Just again, perhaps placement of that ball a little bit off. Seeing where they're moving so fast, these Thunder centre courts down the court, anticipating where that space is rather than was.
Well, Thunder also making another rolling sub. Looks like Nicole Gunther has come back into shooter. It's interesting that matchup now between Grant and Hungerford in the wing attack, wing defence positions. It looks like Keisha Grant matches Josie Hungerford for speed. They're similar heights.
It's a great tussle.
It is. Strong work by USC Thunder. 12-13 at the moment.
Unable to pull that ball in there.
Stephanie Burstey just getting caught behind the player, trying to take that ball over their head. And while that backspace can be good, it's also can often be the lower percentage play.
So a great contest there by Vava again, bringing through her body as well and the two hands. Therefore, the umpire allowing that to go. And great in the air by Ali Bird.
That was such a well-placed ball.
Very good.
The challenge for our feeders is those balls come off probably 1 or 2 in 5. Quite often they get into the process of thinking they've got to put them in all the time. Again, Nicole Gunther just dropping into that pocket probably a little bit early for my liking. I would have liked to have driven back towards the top of the circle to make it a little bit easier.
Too much space between the player and her receive.
It's just hard to position that ball particularly well right into the corner. So it's a tougher one to get hold of.
Just over a minute to go. Wildcats leading by 8. But certainly Thunder not going down without a fight.
Well, Wildcats are ahead by 1 at the moment in this final quarter. So the Thunder will be working really hard again. Jessie Wardlaw getting a hand on the ball. So they've got the quick turnover.
They'll want the 2 points for this.
Absolutely.
Bonus points.
Nice work around the circle. And a great ball. So now we're 14 all. With 45 seconds to go. Thunder with the ball in hand.
Interesting to see how they play with it.
So 40 seconds is probably too long to just placement of that pass. So again, under pressure. Teams just having the composure.
Quarter drawn at this stage, 14 all, as you said.
20 seconds to go.
Not enough time probably for a response.
No, and the Wildcats have the next centre pass. So the Thunder really needed to score off that.
Good pressure here, keeping it clean.
The Thunder defence is doing a fantastic job. Well done from Alicia Adams.
On the buzzer.
So the Wildcats just sneaking away with that final quarter as well, 15 to 14, winning the game overall. QUT Wildcats 60 to the USC Thunder 51. A great match by both teams throughout, Nat.
A few things that they needed to tweak, and the players certainly delivered when they got back on court. Defensively by both teams, I think they're to be commended in their defensive circle and in their wing defensive, even centre defensive positions. Really quite strong by both teams today. A lot of turnover of ball.
They did, and for both teams wanting to work on in their next game, I'd suggest that when they do get that turnover, being able to then convert it. So how do they keep possession, work their way down into their attacking circle and then take that shot? There were some great performances from both teams on the quarter, and apart from that first quarter, each was quite close.
Yes, it certainly was.
Which made it for a very interesting match. We've had a great time here at USC Stadium.
It's been lovely to spend the afternoon at Sunny Coast with you, Toppy.
It has. It's been lots of fun here in the stadium. We hope that you're able to get along to more of the HART Sapphire Series matches. We'd like to also take this opportunity to once again thank all of our sponsors. HART for their naming rights sponsors of the Sapphire Series. Legassic Jewelers, who are the major partner. Mizuno, who are our official footwear partner. Powerade, our official sports drink. Victor Sports. And it'll be interesting to see the MVP.
The MVP, the Katie Walker Sapphire, it's given to a player who has a commitment and an attitude, a great attitude on court, and their performance inspires others around them to make an impact on their performance. And named after the captain of the Tigers, Katie Walker, the ever young, experienced captain of the Tigers. So it is a beautiful sapphire by our great sponsors.
It is. There were plenty of amazing performances out there from players from both teams today. So I'm thinking that the run for that Katie Walker MVP is going to be quite tight as the season continues. We'll be looking forward to seeing who's presented with that award at the end of the season.
Some great talent coming through Queensland netball.
Absolutely. There's other Sapphire Series matches also being live streamed throughout the weekend. We hope that you either get along to see one of the matches in person, or that you continue to join us in the live streams in future games.
We enjoyed having you all.
Thank you so very much from here at USC Stadium, with the QUT Wildcats being victorious against the USC Thunder. Thanks, Nat.
Thanks, Toffee.
My name's Karen Top. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Goodbye.